What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Jake, how is it going, man? You refreshed from the long drive? You and I had some long drives, dude, but what a fun event. I'm not either, but when I get on live, I just have energy. It just gives me energy to talk about this stuff, and I'm excited about it. And trust me, I've been pretty whipped all week too. Had a birthday yesterday, so I spent some time with the family and all that. So got a little bit of rest in there. Took the kids to the trampoline park. They're on spring break, so that was a blast. But yeah, I need like one more night of really good rest for that after that long week and 15-hour drive in a span of 4 or 5 days. So twice. But anyway, yeah, it looks like some people are getting on here, and we're gonna get straight into it today, right? Because we have a guest,
the main event,
and we don't want to leave our guests hanging and sit here in the green room too long. Well, you and I just chatted up about the event, which we can get to later. But you guys on the comments, just bring any questions, comments. We might even post a link if a few of you guys that were at the event want to join later. And then Aggressively Average Anglers will have their episode that's a joint with KAS next week. And I believe they're going to bring on, Zach and Brian Parker, Team Dark Horse, and talk about the team win that they had. What a pretty cool win they had. But tonight, we're going to talk to Rich White because he got second, but barely by the slimmest of margins, 1/4 of an inch to your dad. And that had to be pretty special, man. So you're going to kind of recap the whole event from you and your dad's perspective. And so how you guys feeling, man, now that the dust is settled and you're both kind of champions in a way here?
Man, it's exciting. How often do you hear about a father-son go first, second, in a national event like that? It doesn't happen often. It may never happen again. We're going to try, but I mean, Who knows? It was definitely a special thing that happened during the awards there. So Miccosukee is a pretty good hidden gem lake in the Tallahassee area that not a lot of people know about. I really didn't know a lot about it. We actually had a Florida Bass Nation tournament there in December, and doing research on the lake, to me, it sounded like a mud hole. It sounded like, I think I was looking it up, and they were saying that the fish were high in mercury, do not eat them, and all types of different stuff. So I was like, man, I don't know about going to this place. And pre-fishing for that event, we ended up going to Ammonia, and it didn't work out at Ammonia. We just bit the bullet and went to Miccosukee tournament day, and I probably had the best tournament of my life for the Florida Bass Nation. Ended up winning that event, and that was the only day I ever been there. And so coming back for the Kayak Adventure Series, knowing that they were going to Miccosukee, I knew that there was fish in that lake, and I always had a chance coming back to that lake. And
high in mercury, you said, but ammonia was high in ammonia, so the fish weren't good over there either. So we got all these chemical stuff going on.
I don't think it was stopping people because I saw them taking some big stringers out of that lake of crappie. So
yeah, I talked to a few people at the ramp, and I was like, I looked online. They said that the bass or the fish in here were high in mercury, and they were looking at me like they were clueless. They were like, "Really?" So I don't think a lot of them know, but I mean,
that's funny.
It's definitely a hidden gem, and
it is.
Like I said, I have one of the best tournaments there, and we came back. I wasn't able to pre-fish. Me and my wife and kids, we came down Friday, and we went to the Native American mounds that they have out there and just explored. And my dad was there, and he actually had a great day Friday. He had 97 inches Friday afternoon.
Yeah, he did.
Since I didn't pre-fish, I kind of just ran around, tried different things. I fished the Bassmaster Championship, a week before that, and the tournament didn't go as well as I hoped. So I wanted to make sure there was nothing I was missing on Miccosukee, and I figured if I had 2 days to figure it out, I'd figure something out. And so Friday, I flipped. I went up shallow. I just ran around, tried to see what the bass were doing, see if I could figure out something. And caught one 18-incher. That's all that worked out for me, but my dad was on him. He had 97 inches. And most of his fish, he was throwing a glide bait right off the edge of the pads. He was throwing a weightless fluke, and he was drawing them out the pads, and that's where they were at for him Friday.
Yeah, we're zoomed in now on the lake so people can see. It's like a sinkhole lake, right? I mean, this lake just goes up and down. There's no river or creek feeding it. It's just literally based on the underwater limestone aquifer in Florida. And right now it's pretty low water. So this is about what it looks like, maybe even lower than this. But it's just, I mean, you can tell it's shallow, the whole thing. I mean, it's crazy shallow on the entire place. Just pads everywhere.
So, yeah, that was my biggest worry coming into it without pre-fishing is what's the water going to look like? Because we're in a drought here in Florida, so I had no idea if it was going to have water or not have water. So I got to the ramp Friday and saw it had water, so I knew I had a pretty good chance of catching some good quality fish.
Are there only 2 ramps in this lake? Because there's one up north.
I think technically there's only one.
I think there's one up north. There's one in the central, and I think that's where Brandon went. And then I think there's one in the south somewhere, but it's really hard to get into with the water level. Here's
the central one here, Cypress Landing. So you had Cypress Landing. So yeah, maybe some other guys. But I mean, we had and Jake, maybe you or I can look this up while we're on live. But I'd be curious to see what the top like 15, 20 anglers, what the breakup was between, rivers, lakes, if they were all at one lake. I mean, I know several people did well and cast checks here at this lake, but that we had diversity in this event. I think we had a decent amount of diversity.
I think the top 3 were definitely there. I don't know where Chris Anderson was, but then I think Matt Voigt was there too. So that's 4 out of the top 6.
Yeah.
And then Parker, who was 7th, he was on Mill Pond, I believe is what they said. So I think Robert Jolly Jr. was the first one in a river. So
yeah, possibly. But yeah, it seems like the lakes did a little bit better here for sure. Let me get back to
year,
hang
I think.
Yeah, maybe time of the year. And maybe more people just focused on lakes for sure, but the rivers were on pretty good. You could have done good in the river. You guys had a great day on a shoal bass river there in the area on Sunday. Yeah. April Fools. No, you guys had a lot. I mean, it could have been a big day on that river for somebody, but Fridays
we had over 100 inches of shoal bass.
Together you guys did. If one person would have been on that stretch, but Friday tell us about Friday, because I know your dad had 97 and you didn't have so much going on, right? But Friday seemed like a lot slower than Jake and I expected based on everyone's practice. People coming up to us saying, we are hammering the fish. They're big. We were staying on Lake Talquin, and there was 95 inches literally standing at our dock. I could see 95 inches in 5 right there, if not more. It was crazy. But then Friday comes around, and it wasn't as like boom, boom, boom like we thought it was going to be. And it was actually pretty, I guess, a little bit lower than we expected, even throughout the entire Friday. I think that just goes to show, if anyone watched Major League Fishing on Sunday, when Jacob Wheeler won on Lake Brownwood, I mean, it was the same for all the anglers. It was just tough. The last period, they only had 11 scoreable fish total between all 10 anglers. Just 11 fish were caught, 2.5 hours. So we had a day like that on Friday, other than your dad, who got 97 inches. Somebody else, I think, had 93. Was that you, or who else had 90? Someone had 93 on day 1, Friday. I don't remember who had 93.
I think Brandon did pretty good.
Turek?
Brandon did pretty good Friday too. Brandon Turek, I believe.
Yeah, he had 93. Maybe that's who it was. Brandon. Yeah, he ended up over 100. So yeah, what was the deal with Friday? What was overall the feeling? What was going? Was it just like so calm and stagnant? Maybe there's no wind turning them on. It was pretty, or was it? What was going on that day?
I kind of think a lot of people were just trying to fill it out, trying to see what was going on. At least where I was, people were running around doing different things. I think people had the idea what they were wanting to do, but they were kind of just filling out the area. I ran around and did a lot of different stuff that I didn't do Saturday, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And I've seen several other people doing the same thing. And I'll say Saturday, that front came through, and that really turned the fish on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So once that front came through, it was like they would hit anything. And Friday, it was actually there was a breeze where we were fishing. It was windy. It wasn't calm, at least where we were at, but it's hard to say. What I was doing, I was just running around, and I think a lot of the other guys were too, because I've seen people going from place to place. And I think everybody's mindset was like, getting prepared for Saturday. So trying to make sure that everything was set up the way they wanted, so Saturday they could hit it hard.
That's what's cool about Friday at our events, because it's only 5 fish total between both days. So I've noticed more and more people are starting to get confident, and even if they only have a 1 day of practice or even no days of practice or 2 days or whatever, they still just treat Friday sort of like a feel it out kind of quasi practice day, especially if their Saturday location they're trying to get to is too far away, or it's too long of a float on a river, or too far of a paddle or motor on the lake, and they want to just save that for Saturday when they have more time. I'm starting to see that more and more, and it gives them that confidence they can fish these tournaments without practice, and it's not really that big of a deal if you roll into Friday. And guess what? Hey, everybody, surprise, surprise. Whenever you go practice for a tournament and the first day you just roll out there, you don't know what you're going to catch. Sometimes you do find them and you just catch big ones. And the good news is for KS, they count, on that Friday, on that day. So if you're treating it like a practice day, it's kind of nice to get a little surprise, a little bonus. Blake Abbey there. Yeah, one fish, right? Yeah, hey, we might put a link out if you guys want to join us. A few of you guys might want to join us later. We might put a link here in the comments. We're going to talk to John Dalton and then maybe even open it up if we have time. So I want to hear more about your technique, because you obviously got second by just 1/4 of an inch. So were you and your dad doing the same thing? And explain to us what your technique was to get these fish. What did you essentially figure out that got you all the way up to 2.75?
So I'm not even really sure where my dad was fishing. He was further south down the lake than I was. So I didn't even see him Friday until afterwards. And there's this deep hole, and I think it's where the water comes out of the ground there, where the sinkhole is. And right on the edges of it, there was good quality fish. I caught one Friday that was a little over 18 inches, and first thing Saturday morning, I caught one on that same hole. And I was throwing a glide bait, and I was just drawing them out the grass right off the edge, and they would come out and hit it. And I threw a glide bait around a lot. That's what I got them when we had our Bass Nation tournament. I just threw a glide bait, and it seemed like everything was going right. And I was hoping that would be the case, but it got really slow for me Saturday. I think I had like 3 fish by 1 o'clock Saturday, and it really wasn't working out the way I was hoping it would. And I ended up going back towards the boat ramp, thinking at least towards the end of the tournament, I can go ahead and pack up and be close and get out of there. And on my way back towards the boat ramp, the last hour of the tournament, I think that front started coming through, and it was probably the best hour of fishing I ever had. I was throwing a shaky bait, and I was just throwing it in deep water, like 8 to 10 foot of water out there. And I mean, literally, if you look at my fish, I'm pretty sure all 5 of those fish came in that last hour. And it was like the best hour of fishing I ever had. It was, I ran into my dad. He was actually on that side of the lake for some reason. I guess it was just not working out where we were fishing. And he ran into me. He's like, "Oh, I saw you caught a 23 incher." And I was like, "Yeah." And we were talking, and I caught another fish that was like right at 20 inches. And I was like, "Man, it would be cool if you got first and I got second." But I still had a ways to go at that point. I was just talking. And then like right after I said that, I caught another one that was like 21 3/4. It moved me into second. And I was like, "Dang, I might be able to get second. You might be able to get first." And then literally like 2 casts later, I caught another one that was like 21 3/4. It pushed me back up into second. And man, it was just magical.
That's cool.
That lake, everything just seems to go right every time I've been on Miccosukee. It's a fun lake to fish on. And
what's wild is when we were there on Friday filming, I was watching the bait at where he was just talking about by the boat ramp busting. Remember, I was saying it to you, I was like, "Dang, there's a bunch of bass chasing bait here." And I could see them. They had them like all pushed up where it kind of like bowls out by the boat ramp. And I was like, "Man, something's going on here." I mean, I couldn't really.
I caught like 4 fish in a row, and my dad was probably less than 50 yards away from me. And he started getting real quiet towards the end because I think he started realizing I might catch him.
Nervous.
And yeah, he was talking to me a little bit, and he started getting real quiet, started getting his rod in the water, started fishing a little bit harder. And like I was telling you guys before the show, literally 2:59, right at 3 o'clock, I saw probably the biggest fish of the whole tournament, and I threw at it, and I knew I wouldn't have time to submit it. And I saw my dad back behind me. I was like, "There's a big one right there," and I threw it. And I went to go set the hook, and it snapped me off. snapped my leader off. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that would have probably been big bass for the tournament. They were there. They were right out there in front of the boat ramp, just tons of giants.
Wow. Are you guys using? Let me move there. Or here we go. Your name was getting covered. Are you guys using electronics like live scope?
Yeah, I was using my forward-facing sonar, throwing glide baits most of the day, and then
just looking for them.
Sticky bait towards the end. Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's very cool.
So do we want to watch the clip of the?
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch the clip because you got a couple clips you sent us, and maybe this is. Tell us which one this is. This big bass or is this?
This is the 23. Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't seen this one yet. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We weren't able to show this at the awards because we didn't have the clip yet. Is this the shaky head?
Yep, shaky bait.
Is this the big one?
Yeah, it's a big.
It is okay.
Big one.
I was like, man, that hook set looks familiar, but it was
it
always does that same hook set. Yeah. Wow.
I got a giant.
What did it end up being? 23 even? Right on the money?
Yeah, 23, right at 23.
Wow. I'm a little surprised we never saw a 24.
Yeah.
But
it was caught in our Bass Nation tournament.
Yep. It's cool to highlight fisheries like this that don't get as much, bass boat pressure, but have great fishing just like this. Like Jackson.
He wasn't kidding. He was right there by the boat ramp.
Get over here. Let's go. 23 inches. Beautiful bass.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome. That was cool.
Yeah, there were
Very
some kids
cool
running by too. They were like, yeah, my friend caught this bass. And then they were like, oh, he's got a nice bass. You could hear him at the end when they looked over.
I heard that. That's cool. And you said you submitted that to the GoPro Angler's Cut. So there's still $500 and then $500 in prizes, basically a GoPro and a subscription. So $1,000 total up for stake after every one of our events. So you guys who are out there, we're at the event, send us a clip. That's a big fish. It's cool. But, there's also there's lots of other clips and ways. It's not like it's just the biggest fish isn't the clip that always wins. You could be somewhere and you go in a river and the fish gets stuck around a log or a lake. You could be in our backyard, the Airbnb where these big fish were right there. We were catching them. It's anything crazy. You get wrapped around a dock and, you got to go over there and reach in and grab it. All the stuff that you and I, we all know we love to see when the bass boat tournaments are on TV, Major League Fishing, Bassmaster Elite, those cool sort of viral clips like that. We want those all to be submitted because it doesn't have to be just the biggest. I mean, obviously that's a good one.
Well, also that first clip I sent y'all, the reason why I sent y'all that first is that was the one that solidified, put me back up in second because somebody bumped me down and I caught that fish and I knew it had to put me in second. There was a lot more excitement in that one because it was just like, I caught that 23 and then boom, boom. And then I caught that one at the end. And so like you're saying, your excitement also goes into some of these clips. It's a little bit different than just big bass. And you could catch the game, you could catch the winning tournament fish or the fish that helps you win the tournament, but it might not be big bass, but that bass solidified your win. So it's exciting.
Your emotion. Yeah.
We can play that clip. I've got it.
I mean, I'll see it. Why not? Yeah, people haven't seen it. We'll show it. The more clips, the better, right? That's the same with our awards. And
I think this is it. I'm going to fast forward a bit here. Oh.
Yeah, that bass jumped way out the water, too.
Oh, gosh.
There we go.
I know it's
What rod is that?
Oh my gosh!
I had a shaky bait rod.
Oh my gosh!
It broke. And I think they sent me the wrong rod in return. I kept missing my hook set from my rod, and I wasn't getting the hook set, so I had to kind of snatch it like that.
Come here, girl. Come here. Come over here. Come over here. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that was
come on now. Get in
scary because missed her once.
Go!
Yeah, that's awesome.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe
the afternoon I'm having. There is 15 minutes left, and I just caught another one. I caught 3 giants in the last 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, what a blessing. That's all I gotta say. What a blessing this is.
That's cool.
God is great.
Like
all these fish on the Oracle segment.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
And that
no, it was a
blessing.
Mm-hmm.
That Oracle segment bait is actually I own a small bait business called Oracle Fishing, and I actually cut my own molds and design my own baits, and that's one of the shaky baits that I fish with, and I've caught a lot of big fish on that bait. So it's kind of nice to be able to catch a big fish and solidify a tournament with your own baits.
Yeah, super rewarding. And then just the cherry on top, your dad wins. And it sounds like you guys weren't even fishing together. So it's not like you figured out and you told him or he told you something because, you're just separate.
I didn't even see him for that last 30 minutes. And then I started catching him. He got real quiet because I think he's competitive. He's a competitive person, and he ain't going to help me out. He's going to make me earn it. So that's how it works. He started getting quiet towards the end, though, and it's fine. I was happy he won. I'm happy he won, but I also won the Bass Nation side. I had 102 of my entries was all Saturday, so we both won.
Imagine if you did the team.
Yeah, I know it. And it's funny, we were talking about it, we were joking. I told him scared money don't make money, and we never ended up signing up. But
yeah, it's funny. The guys from Dark Horse Tackle probably, they owe you something, man. They're probably over there saying thanks, guys, and here's just big time because you guys would have smashed it.
The same thing happened last year when we had the Ocala-Palooza. We didn't sign up for the team series, and both of our fish together would have won it. Somebody was like, "Why didn't y'all do the team series?" I'm like, I don't know. So next time we fish a kayak adventure series tournament, we're definitely going to have to team up.
Yeah, you definitely should. Well, you guys try to make it up to one of these, the rest of these this year. You're in a good spot for Angler of the Year, which I can quickly share those standings. They are on the website for you guys. You click on under the 4 Anglers tab, you can click on AOI standings. Give me a second. I'll pull them up right here. Where are we? Here we go. Share screen. And you guys can see, obviously you're at the top, but we know that. And then actually, oh man, I put this on here. Sorry, this doesn't move with my screen. That's a bummer, but I'll have to fix that. But you get what we're saying here. This is our new format for the AOI. So obviously your dad with 100 points and you with 99.76, Brandon Turk at 97.82. And then you can see the full list down here, guys. So the points are close. You guys are right in there. And of course we got a big, prize package for, the Angler of the Year and the Team of the Year this year. It's still building, so we're going to announce more about that later. See, why do my links stay this time? I'm scrolling down, and those links at top stay. They don't float. Anyway, we'll get it figured out. But Team Dark Horse Tackle on first, and Fried Ditch Pickles second, Native Gamblers in third. So you guys can go check those standings out. We also are going to announce a new thing. We're going to have a new thing that's different from Angler of the Year, but it's actually going to be called the Power Pole Power Rankings. College football has rankings, with back in the day, especially when it was more just the AP poll, and it's very subjective or whatever from all the different, media that vote and have a vote. That's kind of the way the power rankings work. It's a little bit data driven. I'd say more of it is data, like 65 to 75% of his data. And the rest of it is a little bit of common sense because we know all you guys fish other tournament trails too. And we know kind of about, okay, maybe he hasn't done as good here, but we know he's won twice on the Bassmaster Kayak Series or once back in KBF days or Hobie. And we can vote and it moves them up. So that'll be kind of fun watching those power rankings because it gives you guys something to sort of, just debate about like, oh man, or it can burn a fire in you if you're not as high as you feel like you should be. It might fire you up a little bit and be like, all right, I'm gonna go win a couple events and we'll see if I can't make it at the top of those. So it'll be fun. But man, that's really cool, really special. You guys had that time. That's why I do this. This is why Jake does this. It's like we talked about on stage. It's not always the most enjoyable to go all the way to Florida, drive 15 hours, not even make a cast the whole time I was there, didn't get to fish one bit, and then drive all the way back. But for moments like this that it's going to matter to you and your dad for the rest of your life, That's why I do it. That means more to me than anything. I've got plenty of other times, that I have to go fishing in tournaments where I can have those kind of moments, but this is for you guys. And I'm so thrilled that it just worked out the way it did. And you guys just smashed them. It was, like you said, it's just meant to be. God's way of just making this one just sort of come together and happen for you guys. So that's pretty exciting. Well, anything you think your dad would want to mention or say? He was a little bit hard to hear on stage. Some people couldn't really hear him as well, but anything you want to touch on in his day before we kind of wrap this up talking to you? I mean, because he is the winner after all. He was the winner.
He's a man of few words, but I know he's excited to get that win. He's been going through like a rut here the last few tournaments, so getting that win will get him back up there and feeling good. So I'm happy he was able to get that win. I also want to say you guys did a great job running the Kayak Adventure Series. I know, Drew, you guys are fishermen, and y'all got to take your time from fishing to do this stuff. And honestly, the best trails are run by fishermen because you know what goes into making a good trail. You know what makes it fun and enjoyable. And for anybody that hasn't fished the Kayak Adventure Series, it's probably one of the best trails I ever fished. It was a lot of fun, and you guys should try it out in one of these tournaments this coming season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch you guys have fun. So I appreciate that. We try hard, and we like you said, we're fishermen, so we know the things we like and don't like about the other, any other events that we fished in the past or whatever. And just try to make this one a little bit different. Steve Owens and I always talk about how it's kind of cool that, with Bassmaster, they do certain things different than us. And that's nice that the anglers have a lot of just variety, different trails to do. And you got other trails like Native Power Hour, and they do things on hourly. And so it's just kind of cool that we have our little lane and they've got their lanes, and TKS, you got all different trails. So,
and like the lakes that you guys chose for this event, how many people knew about Talquin or Miccosukee or these lakes there? I mean, I'm from Florida. I really don't know about them. And look, we found a hidden gem going to Miccosukee. There's some good fishing in that lake. And there's other lakes that you guys mentioned that I want to go back and check out because I know there's probably some giant fish in there. So it's just a cool thing.
It's a cool format for sure. People are starting to get it. They're starting to get it and see it. They're not, when you first start this, you're like, that's weird. Why would you not be on the same body of water? But you kind of are, in the sense that you all have the chance or choice to be on these same bodies of water, like plural, and it kind of fits everyone's style. I mean,
it's also nice too because you can go somewhere Friday and not work out, and you'd be like, man, that was not the lake I should have chose. Somebody's catching them somewhere. You could turn around and go to another option and have the best Saturday ever, like I did.
Yeah. Hey, there's our man Taylor from Tallahassee visiting the show here. So what's up, Taylor? Yeah, thank you so much. It was amazing. So we're definitely gonna continue to stuff. Yeah, we got some great content. We're still putting it all together, and it takes a while.
These are some of the rivers which I know didn't. This is the Wassissa. You can see the grass. Mm-hmm. This one is a challenging one. That's probably why a lot of people didn't fish it. But we'll talk about this in a bit because I think John's in here.
John's right here. He's going to talk about that. So. He was in there, and people caught Swanee bass out of there. People caught shoal bass. It's just that area in Tallahassee, you could just an hour away in any direction, you can get into anything you want. Blackwater lakes, Blackwater rivers, Clearwater, like spring-fed creeks and rivers, spring-fed lakes, like we see in that Merritt's Mill Pond, where Dark Horse Tackle guys, you can just do so much shoal bass, Swanee, large Florida bass. It's wild, and that's why we're going to continue. We worked. We introduced Taylor and Blake and the whole, Florida Bass Nation Kayak Series. So hopefully you guys can continue to always go there and build the momentum for this area and show off and utilize the format that KS has developed. And I just don't see what the issue is. What's the difference between the Kissimmee chain and the Harris chain having, how many lakes they have, 8 or 9 a piece, right? And just because they're connected by a little teeny canal that a boat can fit through, why is that different than what we're doing? I don't see any difference. You guys all have the ability to choose. And even in practice on the Harris chain or Kissimmee chain, who fishes every single lake? Who fishes all 9? Nobody. Yeah, you do your research. You do your research just like you guys did for KS. And you choose in your 4 days of practice or 2 or 3, whatever you get, you choose which lakes, 2 or 3 or rivers you want to go to. Just like in the Harris chain or the Kissimmee chain, you pick, I'm going to go to Tiger and Hatch and Cypress. Those are the 3 I'm going to focus on in practice. That's all you have time to cover. And that's it. And then you go. And that's the same thing we're doing. You just pick between this sort of radius, if you want to call it that's close by, and then you go. And then one area ends up, several areas end up cashing checks, but one area, a lot of times, just like any lake, a certain section of a lake can turn on and be the hot lake or the hot area that really just is on fire due to, bait or shad spawns or grass that happens to be prevalent in that water as opposed to other ones. So it's really the exact same thing. You guys are just solving a different puzzle. It lets us use different venues and different cities and towns that don't typically get, big tournaments to come there because they don't have this one giant 25,000 acre lake. And it's the future of our sport because we only have so many of those giant lakes anyway, and they're kind of overrun by the bass boats, and they're pretty beat up pretty hard at this point, and the pressure is not good. So I don't know about you guys, but I like catching fish, and that's why we're sending you guys to these places. Because
nope, I only want grinder tournaments. I want to go to Rural Foot Lake and catch one fish and get fifth
one
place.
Fish a day for a week. Yeah. We have joked that would be fun to do a grinder tournament like that. Go to some place that just really isn't the best bass fishing, but let's see who can mentally stay in it and just get like a couple bites a day and win with but anyway, well, hey, thanks for your time. And I appreciate you and coming to the event. Maybe we'll get you guys up to one of these events further north.
I might try to make one of the Virginia tournament y'all have in a few months.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys in Florida probably never caught a smallmouth. I mean, I'm sure if you're born and raised in Florida, you may not have. So that'd be cool to get up there and at least cross it off the bucket list and then see where you sit going into Clarksville for broodstock, which isn't that far away either because it's just in Tennessee. So you never know.
It's about 7 hours and give or take from that event we just had. So I drove through there. That's how I know.
You drove through there, right?
Yeah, I spent the night north of Clarksville. So
from Orlando, it might be like 9 or something like that. So
yeah, if you're like Orlando, you got to probably add a
couple hours on at least, but
3 more hours.
Anyway, yeah, but I mean, look at Elvis Lee and look at all these anglers, Pete Husser with the cross kicks bonus, the guys from Michigan. I mean, it's what life is all about. And we live in one of the most black bass rich continents on the planet, and they're everywhere, north, south, east, west, everywhere. And if you're a fan of the sport, you want to go experience shoal bass and smallmouth in Wisconsin and Minnesota and the Northeast and upstate New York or whatever, all these different Virginia for smallies we just go to cool places. It's worth the drive. No one has ever gone to a KS event from a long distance and said, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Like I'm telling you, it's a blast because we take you guys to the places that have, just like you experience, these hidden gems. We know what's there. We may not know every single body of water what's there, but we know there's a reason why we're there. And we can't tell you exactly why. It's up for you guys to find it. We can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink sort of thing. But you're in the right spots. So I can't wait to see you guys at another one. And you guys have a great night. And tell your dad that everybody at Kayak Adventure Series says a big congratulations again. And we're proud of them and excited. And we'll get you guys your century belts here as soon as we can.
Okay. Thank you. I'll let them know.
And trophies. All right. See ya.
See ya. All right. So next we got John.
Yeah.
I got to see y'all guys again. I thought it'd be a while for I had to talk to y'all for a while.
I know, right? Well, here we are. I'm trying to get this layout here. We need to get rid of those other layouts where our names show up. There we go. Now our names show up. Do the fans like this layout or this one better?
It depends on what they're on. See, I gotta like move if you do that one.
What do you want?
Centered.
What do you want? You're just on your computer?
Yeah, but I've got a giant monitor. I've got like a whole thing, so it's not in the middle. It's kind of like over here.
Well, it's hard to please. It's always got something going on.
I know, right? Well, it's easy to please on one day here on Sunday.
I just wanted a few different things. You have to skip forward a little bit, but this is one of the most interesting catches I had of the trip.
Ooh.
You might have to skip forward, Jake.
John he was fishing the Wassissa.
Yeah.
So he did one of the, is it not one of
This is Friday. Is this Friday at the tournament or Saturday?
Saturday?
No, it's the river. See?
It's the river Saturday. So Saturday you went cold turkey. Never fished this river before. Never.
Yeah, I just saw a couple videos on it, and it looked really cool. So I wanted to try it out.
Smack my hand.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's super clear water, like 4 or 5 foot deep, and I'm paddling up it because you can't motor really. And I just look over to my left, and there's a bowfin sitting right beside me. like looking at my kayak. So I just dropped my yum dinger right in front of it, twitched it like 3 times. He just ate it. I'm like, well, if I'm here, might as well try to catch it.
We definitely need to do a trash pod. I think that would be a cool addition where the longest non-bass species.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get over the board easily. 20.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. You got skipped somehow. I held it up for like a little bit. This ain't really trimmed. I wasn't prepared. But
that's all right. We'll get it.
Go back.
Now, do you have? Is the catch on here too?
No, just holding it up to the camera.
I think I missed it. I want to see
it's
it.
already
I'm committed.
Yeah, you're committed. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Go back.
It's like lagging a little bit. That's why I'm struggling.
Yeah,
look right beside me, and there he was.
Okay, he's rinsing his hands off. We know he just let it go. He's doing the old get the slime off, the fish slime off.
There it
pretty
is.
Cool catch. Wasn't planning on it, but we'll take it. Nice bowfin. Yeah. That was cool. I just looked right beside me, and there he was. So I had to drop a little yum swimming dinger right in front of his face.
It made me catch it. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to catch
it.
But he was there. I was like, I got to catch this one.
All right, Aaron Outdoors says he likes this view better. I think that's what he was saying.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll that was the Wasissa, which we kind of showed it earlier, and we haven't really talked about that. We spent a lot of times on lakes because I did a quick scan, and I would say like 80% to 90% of the people were in Mill Pond, the other one, Mikasaki or whatever it's called, Mississauga, and then what's the other one? Ammonia or whatever. So those three were the top 3, with one outlier being one person on the Chipola. So I really expected this river to play more, the one John was fishing, but John said he was the only one on it this day that he saw.
I know there were people there on Friday.
There was a couple people upstream. Lance was there upstream with his son on Saturday or Friday. I can't remember which day because they caught some. This place was, if you're just looking for like adventure and just, it's got so much. It is one of the coolest.
Dude, it's like the middle of nowhere too. Look at that.
Yeah, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. There were people with little mud motors running around on their John boats. Like that's the only way to get around. I would drop the motor down and it'd get immediately caught with grass. So you're like paddling. It's super wide, flat, with like little pockets. And I saw so many giant largemouth hanging out in these little pockets. Never could get them to bite. I caught like a 17.75 on biggest largemouth. Tons of Swanee bass. You can catch 50 Swanee bass there if you want to.
Yeah, it's a fun place. I fished it several times. I did an episode of Hooked on Wild Waters there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really cool river. Yeah, the Wild Wasissa is what it's called, I believe, the episode.
And there's different sections. Like this is, I only did like one. This is just one section like that. It changes, right, Drew? Like a lot of different areas.
Yep, it narrows back up into channels, and it goes through the woods like a swamp.
I think how many bass are in that grass. There's just so many fish.
Well, we know there's giants in there because Miss Jean, the one we featured on the show a few weeks back, caught I think it was a 27, like 2 weeks before the tournament, or even like, actually, I think it was, she caught it Sunday after the tournament on the Wasissa.
I think so
they're in there.
I don't know.
Oh, they were in there, yeah.
Someone shared a picture of it. Look at that. I'm
pretty sure I saw when it was a 10-pounder at least. It was so thick and big. I was like, that's crazy.
Why did you catch him?
Yeah.
I don't.
And then now I'm surprised Talquin didn't play because it's so good. That lake is so good. We saw so many fish from our dock that were so big, and I don't know kind of what was going on there, or maybe just not enough people were on it to really show. But it was pretty awesome lake. It's an awesome lake
too.
Yeah.
I think John put that in here. Look at this. This is Talquin, which we expected Talquin to be.
Good morning from our Airbnb. Check that out. Oh man, when we came out here last night and tried to catch a couple, and Pete said he saw some bass over here. I came over here. There's 2 or 3 bass in here. I just tossed it. I could barely see them. I had no idea it was that big. That is a very nice, healthy bass. We're gonna be fishing a tournament in 2 days. I hope I can catch something this size. Usually I struggle to get these.
Yeah, that was like over 19.
And then
I
I'll
saw
tell you what we did
John,
here.
your comment, John. Earlier, you made a comment in the chat. You said you caught your biggest fish before and after the tournament. This is right here.
Yeah, I caught that one, which was like an 18.
2 or 3 more.
And then I caught a
We're actually
21 inch
loading
here
up
the
to
day
go
after.
fishing a river, and I got Jake and Pete, and we're about to head that way. And I just came out here to mess around. Caught that on the ultralight. That thing was a fight. So
Yeah,
this is
a
one of the
lake.
stuff I
might
like
end up
doing
fishing
for the
this
Kayak
for
Adventure
some of
series,
this for the
where
tournament.
we're just messing
I don't really
around.
like lake stuff, but we're gonna go fish a river today for fun. It's gonna be supposed to be really nice. So we actually got to load up. And
It
head
was
that way now.
not.
Yeah, it was nice looking, but we didn't catch.
Yeah, that was a self. That was wrong. This is the river we fished that day. It's a different part of it. This is actually the redemption day, but
it's super wild here too, and just remote. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of houses along it though, so I definitely felt like you weren't as like, because you could see I-10 up there when he's facing that way. So
yeah, but it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah,
I mean, there are
is
some
more like
houses, but it's still remote.
Yeah,
pretty remote river, especially certain stretches of it. There's like nothing.
It was a cool river. It was weird. You know, you're looking at this, you're probably thinking like, oh, that's muddy and gross. No, that's all limestone. You just can't really tell.
Yeah,
like the banks were limestone banks. So
there's a good, nice flow to it. Really good flow to it. Just a fun river. I would have loved to come back and spend another day just floating on it.
Mm-hmm.
And fish would come out of everywhere. This is one of those kind of rivers where I mean, I think we caught all of our biggest fish came out of the middle of the river, just thrown out and just cast in the middle. They come out of everywhere. We caught them on top water, on glide baits, spinner baits.
They definitely like glide baits, like big stuff. As if you really wanted to catch a big, like as soon as the big stuff like drew them out, like you could catch as many as you wanted on like normal baits, but you know, I say that, and then John catches a 21 on a little bitty spinner bait, but.
I was gonna, if I did good in the tournament, or even if I didn't, in my video, I was gonna make a point like if people are wondering if I'm getting information from people, just look at what I finished. But then like the day after, like we talked to some guys and they kind of gave us an area. Obviously, we're never gonna have a tournament there again. So, and we got to go have a blast. But I also people, I get a lot of messages just because I'm on YouTube. I get like people are like, hey, do you want to know where to go? I'm like, no, I never ask for information. I like going into these tournaments totally blind and trying to figure it out myself. But that part of that's just, I love exploring places. So that's why I like your tournament series. It's like, you can just go, there's so many places, you just pick somewhere that looks fun. And I always end up picking 2 different places. Cause I'm like, if I'm there, I don't want to just fish the same thing twice. Something here one day, something here another day. And just go have fun with it.
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
Kept it in the water. We're going to let her go. Him or her. Male and female shoal bass get real big, so
that's cool. Sunday, you guys went and they were biting really good.
It was really cool.
Yeah, we waxed them pretty good, actually. It was kind of ridiculous. And you know what's crazy about that trip is we were catching a lot of fish and but it was just so unserious. Like, it was just like, there was no pressure. We were just, oops. No.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get it back to our other. I don't know why that one defaults back to this one where it hides John's name, but whatever.
Yeah, it was just like, it was so like just laid back. And, you know, I wanted to fish because I was like, you know what? I drove all the way down here. I'm going to catch some fish because we went there on, what was that, Thursday morning and fished for like 5 or 6 hours. And it's a little tough, but.
Yeah, we had 5 guys out there, and we barely. I don't know if anybody caught a limit. And then
I caught one shoal bass, a red ear, and a bowfin. That was it.
Pete caught a big bowfin. That was pretty cool.
Oh, the first trip.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a big difference between Sunday's trip. That just goes to show. I mean, it depends on the day, the section of river. It's like like I would say, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. And this time of the year, they kind of stack up in certain areas.
Yeah, I can show.
Well, that's what me and Jake were talking about, and Pete was. We had 3 of us for like 4 hours. We were catching fish nonstop. Like we probably only caught 8 to 10 a piece. It wasn't like we were catching 20 a piece, but 8 to 10 good quality bass in just
4 hours.
In a 4-hour trip, going down then coming back up. Both ways we were catching them, and it was just enjoyable, relaxing, fun.
Truthfully, the only reason we stopped is I had to drive to Kentucky.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to leave, I probably wouldn't have left.
Stayed all day. Yeah.
Well, I lost
Yeah,
one
so
that was
this
over
clip is
20 right beside my
interesting.
kayak.
This clip is interesting because this goes to show you where they're at. I'm actually posting this tomorrow on my page, but it's like I say,
Gosh, right at the boat.
oh yeah, look at that.
Right at the boat. Yeah, show that.
What the heck? I
Let me rewind a
You know, I
second.
gotta
Watch it come in. I put my rod down. I'm like done. Watch.
Oh my gosh, right at the boat. Dude.
Like I was putting it down
What the
to
heck?
paddle
I literally was
forward,
just.
but they were just
Oh.
they were so
That's
aggressive.
cool.
They were coming from like out in the middle.
I'm actually gonna try the trick shad.
But trying to just show some of these.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's less about like I think there's a lot of like stuff you can do that's just not the tournament. You know, it's like, yeah, you come for the tournament, but you're there and you get an opportunity to do even more. You get to explore more. I mean, we're going to all these places. You can't fish them all at once, you know. And it's like if you're going to drive that way, you might as well get the full sort of experience, you know.
Yeah. I mean, of course, most of the anglers are getting 2, 3, 4 days of practice plus 2 days of the tournament. So hopefully they got a chance to explore a lot of those waters in that time. But that looks incredible. What a fun day you guys had. I'm glad you guys really got on some good fish, especially you, Jake. You know, given, like you said, you only had basically 1 day to get it really on the water.
I spent most of that filming,
day and a half.
like all that stuff that's in our drive, like just getting. This is a glide baity right there. He like blows up on it. It's crazy. But anyways,
that's cool.
Yeah, you always want it to happen in a tournament, but you know, realistically, it's just some random time that it happens. But you just, you know, I mean, we probably had more fun doing that than we probably would have had in the tournament, though, just because we were all cheering for each other, taking pictures of fish. Just, yeah, that's just a good time for fishing.
It was kind of crazy because, like, this is actually a good story. So when we got there, John and I were just instantly just hit the ground running, right? Because Pete hasn't really, he did the river 2 times before that. And Pete drove all the way to Texas and he was dead set on the river. Well, he fished it all day Saturday and didn't really catch anything. So he comes with us on Sunday and he's never even caught a shoal bass. He's never even gotten close to catching one. And he's not quite making some of the casts he wants to make. And we're like, oh, you just go in front of us. So he eventually gets on his PB. He catches a 16, which by default is PB. And then he catches a 17 and a quarter, a 17 and a half. And then we're like, Pete, you can get a bigger one because John and I both have decent ones at this point. I have like 2 19s. And so Pete goes in front. Pete catches a 20. I'm like, oh, man, because I haven't even caught a 20. And then he keeps fishing. He throws next to my boat and a 20 and a quarter comes up and grabs it. That's how like aggressive these fish were. So at this point, Pete had gone from never catching one to catching a 20 and a quarter, which is 2 inches bigger than anything I've ever caught. So it was kind of funny. He drove all the way to Texas and he was able to experience probably some of the most memorable river fishing you could have, which, you know, people would pay a lot of money to have a day like that.
Absolutely. They would. I've got some videos here too. We could show some other ones if you guys want. We got some from Zach here from Dark Horse Tackle. We've got.
And what's funny is we actually considered going to where those guys were, the Dark Horse guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we're like, oh, it's crystal clear. We'll just go and like shoot some cool content. We talked about that. We didn't end up doing it, thankfully, but.
All right.
I mean, it looks cool. It looks like he's in like the Bahamas.
Sorry. So just to show a few other clips, we always love watching clips, of course. So this is, real clear. This is like some mill pond that just has, I mean, Florida's got big ones everywhere. He's so calm. He's not like screaming or yelling. I'd have been like tooting and hollering. And he ended up with over 100 inches.
That's what's crazy about Florida. Everywhere you went, there was giant bass. It's just, were you going to be able to catch them? It didn't matter where you went. They were there.
Yeah, they were. And I don't want to talk about different bodies of water and what people told me and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this: someone told me they saw 115 inches and 5 bass swimming around one dock in one of these lakes that were in bounds. 115 and around one dock. So,
swim frat, baby. Welcome to Florida.
that's actually a great clip there, dude. That might need to be submitted too. That emotion was cool. But there was other good clips here. There was.
Yeah, I've got this one.
You can't share them all, of course.
This one's a good one. We posted this on social, but we'll play it here.
All right. Oh yeah. That lost fish. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his frog fish when it jumped. That's I believe that's the same place we just mill pond as well. So
we made a mistake. We're gonna start. We said we were gonna do this and we didn't. I wish we would have. But the unhooked by D-hooker, where you know if you own a D-hooker, you get $500. You know if you got a clip of you losing a fish. If you don't own one and you lost a fish, you still submit it, but you win a D-hooker. Anyway, we should have let it stay open for a couple of weeks for people to go get their footage like this and submit it. Parker submitted this maybe 15 minutes before the awards, and we didn't know it was in there. And then we could have had a decision to make, you know what I mean? But honestly, people have a couple of weeks, then we'll play the winning, unhooked by D-hooker video at the next tournament on the big screen. Same with the GoPro, the Anglers Cup presented by GoPro. Like Zach's clip should be submitted for that. That one where he's like, "Welcome to Florida," and he's like laughing like that with that, that it sounds like a villain, like evil villain laugh. It was great. But anyway, those are the kind of things we're going to give you guys some more time in the future to do, and that way you have time to get back home and go through your footage and whatnot. So, but let's see what this is. Brandon, he's got his cool setup where he stands in the front.
Yeah, so there was a lot of guys like this out there, and I'll play another clip too. If I can
got a custom-made deck on that thing.
Yeah, it's a great Florida setup.
What in the world? Is he playing music? He's chilling out there, man. It's official.
I like it. Yeah.
Dude,
he's just in his zone.
He's winching him in.
He's the freaking, like the NBA players or the NFL players when they're warming up before, they're shooting with their AirPods in and stuff. Just they're in their zone. He's in his zone right now with his music on. That was cool. It was really cool. See, I like to have it off just so I can hear fish busting or anything happening. But
we got that add a sponsor for the most unique kayak setup. Because every time I come, I'm like looking at everybody's kayaks walking in. I'm like, what do they got going on over here? What do they got going on over here? It's funny how people mod them things.
I want to show the way Brandon had his. Let me pull it up here. Because it was wild. I honestly still can't believe. I mean, it was wild in a good way. Here it is. Hang on 1 second. These files are huge. There we go. Just thinking about it. There it goes.
And then I'm going to show something before we get off here. Oh, yeah, you got some great photos there. I was going to show some photos too. It's perfect. Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a really cool setup.
This is a native Titan, whatever. It's the big one. But he's got it so that he can stand on the front, and he's got all these tubs in the back. So he doesn't have black packs or anything like that. They just have Rubbermaid tubs. And on the surface, you're like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. But it's really not, because you can put your batteries in there, you put everything in there, and they're never getting wet for the most part because they're sealed. And he had them strapped down.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be so far up out of the water while he was going through the pads. Like his back end was like sitting up out of the water like that. So
it was pretty wild. I'll pull in this one before we leave here. Let's see, it's somewhere on this thing. Where is it? Here it is. This one, I think. So these are just some of the pictures that Tyler. That's the same guy you're talking about right there.
Yeah, that's a better angle.
Is that John? That's John. Who that is? That's John. I don't want to say his last name.
That's Brandon.
Right? It's Brandon? I thought that was John Voight or
John or Matt Voight.
Matt. Sorry, yeah, John. Maybe it's Matt. Yeah, but these are some cool shots that we got. Well, this will all be in the photo gallery. We'll have a full recap article. We're going to write about this whole event with the photo galleries. But again, we're trying to get all these assets together. There's Jake with one. That's probably a video. But we got some great shots of some of you guys out there doing your thing. That looks like our winner right here.
It is. Yeah, we showed that one earlier when Rich was talking. But there's a good one of his dad where he's like, I showed it at awards.
Yeah. So some great shots here. That's a cool shot. What a great shot. That's Brandon right there, right, Turek?
Yeah.
Looks like, yeah.
Oh, no, that's not. Because Brandon Turek's in a I'm pretty sure
Turek? I can't tell the face. I thought it was. We don't know. What do we know? We just run this thing. How are we supposed to know anything?
I think Brandon was in a new canoe, right?
Yes, he was.
A lightsaber on the back of his.
I think he was in a new.
Maybe a lot of the Florida.
Maybe this is him
Brandon
here.
Right there. Yeah.
There he is. That's him. Somebody else is saying that's me, but I don't know everybody, so I'm sorry.
There's a really good one of Brandon paddling through the pads. I don't know if we've gone through it yet, where he's like,
I don't know, but there's a shot of our winner. I had lots of cool drone shots too. We're gonna get going. Looks like the new canoe, but yeah, we'll have all these up, guys, on the website. Is Blake Abbey with his Kayak Adventure Series hat on too, I can tell. But he didn't have his lucky tournament undies. So don't forget, you guys can go to the website, the KS store, and buy any merch you want. Look at that bend in that paddle. That's cool. We got some cool stuff out there.
I almost thought I was going to have a paddle after this event.
It's like landing a fish or something. Yeah.
I did lose Jake's paddle for about an hour. Luckily, Lance
there you go. There's the photo. I like that photo.
That cool shot. Yeah, me too. That's cool. So anyway, that's just a sampling of what we got. We got a lot more. It's hard to get it all together, honestly. So there's just so much, right, between the drones and the GoPros and the anglers and our, photographers and stuff like that. But all right, guys. Well, I mean, the aggressively average anglers guys are about to go on at 8:15. We always like to end right about when they go on. But if you guys, obviously know next event, Indiana. So get ready for that one. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited about it. There was a tournament that went on recently. You guys doing research will definitely stumble on this, but over 100 inches was caught in Indiana just recently in one of the lakes. So we could have another century belt to give away in Indiana. We'll see, because it's the right time of year to be there. I know some people think, wow, it's pretty early and water's still cold, but it is pre-spawn still up there. Pre-spawn.
I went to college not far from there, and I can tell you that is a good time of year to be in the middle Midwest, I guess we'll call it. It's not really the upper, it's kind of the middle Midwest. So
yeah, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. I'm pumped up. Plus NFL draft is that weekend, so I'm excited. We're gonna watch at the brewery at the Yellow River Tap and Eatery. We're gonna be watching the NFL draft round 1 on Thursday, right at our opening ceremonies and check-in. And that'll be fun. I'm gonna have I forgot to do this. John, I was really bummed because I know you love the basketball, and I do too. March Madness. I mean, who doesn't love it? But I mean, you watch that UConn Duke game, and it's like there's no way you don't love March Madness. But I meant to put a question on every one of our events. I always like to have a question going back to year 1 when we held our event during the Kentucky Derby, and during the awards on stage, I had a horse name on every seat on the every aisle, every row, I guess, of the theater, and they lifted it up, and whatever the name was on that seat was their horse. And then we watched the Derby live we cut off over to the Derby right when they ran it. Anyway, I wanted to ask a question on that virtual check-in. Who are you going to pick to win, March Madness bracket? And then we have everyone's information. And then whenever you win, you get whatever, $25 gift card to whatever, one of our sponsors. So the next one, we'll have an NFL draft question or something. Who knows? But it's just optional, fun stuff anyway. But if we can tie in stuff like that to these events, then it just makes it a little bit more fun. So
we just need Illinois to go all the way, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Has Illinois ever won? Wait, did they? What they won right once or no?
They went in 2005. They lost to UNC when we had the one loss season. That was like my first. That was the year before I went there. Like I'd already like accepted to go to school there, and then they went to the finals. I was like, oh yeah, and then we just sucked the whole time I was there. So.
I don't want UConn to win. I can't stand UConn. They've won too much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm scared of UConn the way they beat Duke.
Well, yeah, they're just living on borrowed time. It's like free money, house money to them because they kind of stole one. But thanks to Raccoon Creek Outfitters for being our sponsor of the live stream as always. If you want to go get 10% off, obviously with Omni, it's been at the bottom of the screen all, stream long here, KAS10 for a discount code. We probably don't plug that stuff very much, but yeah, just thanks to everyone for making it a great event. Thanks to you guys for showing up. Thanks to you, Jake, for running a good event with me. And, it's the first event. It has little bugs like every first event of every year does. But we're hitting our stride now. We made little notes and tweaks, and it's going to be just on fire. I mean, our presentation looks so much cleaner now and neater. You guys are probably seeing a little bit of changes and improvements every single event and every single year. So hopefully you guys notice that, and let's just keep making this thing a bigger and better party at every stop from here on out.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way that, just so you guys know, the since they had a massive TV at the event, it crashed my computer because it was like a 70-inch TV, like 4K TV, and that's what happened. It kept crashing every time video would play. So
that's crazy. Well, we should be good. The next event will be at the coolest theater, the Reese Theater. It's the most high-tech advanced of all. It's renovated. It's so cool. I watched the national championship football game there, and the whole thing from ceiling to floor is like a screen. It's giant. So
perfect.
We should be good there, and right in the middle of town, good Wi-Fi, good signal. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a surprise to see what wins that event. Next week, by the way, next week's show, we're going to preview we're previewing the Juniata Regatta. I think that's the next preview show next week. So Juniata Regatta, I've already pre-recorded an interview with our tourism partner. It's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to seeing you guys next week, and we'll go over that event in June. So until then, we will catch you guys later. Thanks again, everybody. See ya.